Thank you very much. It's a very important day for many reasons. We've had a lot of important days lately, but this is a meeting and a group of people that are doing an unbelievable job, and a thing called crime, and in particular, violent crime. Today, we're going to be discussing it, and I watched as a very incompetent mayor from Chicago said, well, what do they know? They only arrested 9 people. I said 9 people. We didn't arrest 9 people. We actually arrested a total of well over 1,000 people. We took hundreds of guns away from young kids, throwing them around like candy. We apprehended scores of illegal aliens. We seized dozens of illegal firearms. There have been 0 murders. It sounds sort of terrible to say. It's embarrassing. I did this over the weekend. I'm making a speech, and I acted like I was so proud. As I said, we've had 0 murders in the last week. Some of these people were from foreign countries. They said, that doesn't sound so good. And I said, well, that doesn't sound good. But Washington was the most dangerous place in this country. And now, you know what? It's probably the safest place in our country. Everyone's starting to come here. The restaurants now, you can't get in many of them. They closed because they couldn't open with crime. Everybody before me is happy with what I'm doing. Most of you won't say that because you're radical left. The newspapers are so dishonest. The press is totally dishonest. But that's all right. We've gotten used to it. And we won in a landslide. So obviously, it's impossible to imagine. You get 97% negative stories, purposely negative stories, even though you've done 97% positive things. And then you could still win an election in a landslide, winning all 7. He said, Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. He only apprehended 9 people. Well, number 1, that's false. It's literally thousands. We'll get into that. But more importantly than any, we took guns away. We have some of the worst career professionals out of the country already. They've been taken out of the country. And some are in solid confinement, because these would kill us. We arrested some very bad people. And in the last 11 days, again, I hate to say it because it sounds so ridiculous, but in the last 11 days, we've had no murders. And that's the first time that's taken place in years. Actually, years. We always have a murder a week. They call it a murder a week. You come here from Iowa. You come here from Indiana. You come here from Idaho because you're so proud of your country. You love your country. And then you get murdered. Your son gets murdered. Your daughter gets murdered. You get murdered. See the media? You get murdered. Many of you have been mugged in Washington. You just don't want to talk about it. And I know that every time I do this with you, you almost have everything. But every time I do this with you, you people say to yourselves, he's right, and then you write a negative story. But we are doing an incredible job. The people behind me are amazing. We're working very well with the Washington police. As you know, the D.C. National Guard is unbelievable. We're also getting tremendous help from the Secret Service. And we are at a point where Washington is booming again. People are pouring in like we haven't seen for years. Nobody wanted to come here. They didn't want to come here and get murdered. I have a friend of mine who has a very successful son. And I said, where is your son going to be this weekend? He said, he's going to Washington with his friends. I said, really? He's wanted to do it for 4 years, but he couldn't because it was so unsafe. And he's a tough kid, too. And he ended up staying 3 nights, going out to restaurants all 3 nights, he said. It was so beautiful.
so peaceful, because all the criminals are either arrested or they're hiding, and we're finding the ones that are hiding.
So I want to thank Pam Bondi, I want to thank our Vice President, I want to thank everybody who's standing behind me, because they are really, G'day, you've been unbelievable, by the way. They have done an unbelievable job. They're working 24 hours a day, and Washington, D.C. is now in great shape. I'm going to be working with Clark Construction, which is by far your biggest construction company. And we're going to also beautify Washington. We're going to rip down the broken medians, fix them. We're going to put asphalt on the roads. We're not ripping them apart like these stupid people do. They rip a road down to the dirt, and then they spend 5 years building the new one. And then it starts settling the holes like a surface.